Hi, I'm John Kugel from Stringybark Creek Produce, and today we're looking at seed saving from some heirloom tomatoes that have done particularly well this year that we'd like to try and save some to keep going for next season. This particular type's Black Russians, and as you can see they're very overripe. We left them go so that the seed matures. First of all, we'll go through and we'll pick them while they're and put them in a bucket because we're going to squeeze the juices and pulps out of them later. And we'll just collect a bucket of these and I'll catch you at the next step. Okay, this is how we get the pulp out. In the seed, we just milk it out like so and let it ferment for 3 days. Okay, here we are on day 3 of our seed saving. As you'll see, the viable seeds have sunk to the bottom, and our rubbish and pulp has floated. Our foreign matter has floated to the top. Our non-viable seeds, but not in all varieties, will float to the top. Okay, now we'll mix this. We'll mix this all up with about 4 or 5 times as much water. This is just straight pulp. No water added, and it's fermented and it's a little bit on the nose, but we'll add that in there and we'll put some water, fill it up full of water, and start to decant the pulp off the top and give it a couple of seconds to settle. And as you'll see, the viable seeds are coming to the bottom again. The pulp is all floating to the top. I like clear containers so that you can see this actually happening. Now we'll pour it off very slowly, and as you'll see, the pulp and the larger chunks of fermented tomato that we don't want are all coming off the top. And just pour it nice and slowly because we're keeping an eye out for the seed. And we get down. You've got to repeat this process maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 times until we get all the pulp and the seeds separated. And you'll end up with what you end up with is just pure seed. Just do this a few times. As you can see, it's starting to get a lot clearer now already. Bigger concentration of seed down the bottom. Just pour it off nice and slow. There we go. And I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 more times and we'll have this beautiful. Okay. I'll give it another couple of seconds to settle. As you can see, it's getting a lot clearer now. We're starting to get big clumps of seed down the bottom. And pour them off again. And 1 more, just for good luck, for good measure. Just to get as much of it as we can. You can keep on going and going and going until you've got nothing but seed. You can pull out a couple of the bigger bits by hand if you want to. I always do it, make it a little bit quicker. Okay. As you see now, the water has gotten a lot clearer. Nearly there. Just a couple of seconds to settle. Let me just took out those last couple of little pieces by hand. Alright, what you're left with is seed, and lots of it. This is beefsteak, this variety. It's one of our favourite. Okay, now for the final step, we'll fill it up with a bit more water. For commercial, if you're going to sell these commercially, what we'll do, you actually use 10% bleach to kill any of the bacteria, and we'll soak that for 30 minutes to get rid of any of those little bad guys, and then we'll follow it with another 5 minutes of rinsing to get any excess bleach off. But yeah, that's about it before the start of the drying process. Here we are now. We've waited our 30 minutes for our bleach to kill the bad guys and the bugs on our seed, and we're going to start the rinsing process. Basically, we're going to rinse them out through a very fine sieve. Alright, here we are now after about 5 minutes of rinsing, getting all the bleach off our seed. And as you'll see, like we've got it 99.9% just all seed. There's very little foreign matter left in there now, but we can get rid of that in the middle of the drying process. Now, I've made up these crude drying racks out of aluminium fly wire. As you'll see, I've just bent up the edges just to keep them up off the ground and let the air circulate around them. The next step's really quite easy. We'll just grab our little sieve here and we'll put him up over the top like so. Couple of taps. And voila. Okay, and now we'll just spread this bit of the seed around just to try and break up a few of those clumps, and we'll just place it in a well ventilated area. Okay, here we are. This is our drying process. We make sure that you label them straight away so that you can tell what they are. It's very important. Okay, these ones have been sitting here for about 7 days now. They're right at these are just ready to go. What we do, we'll just go around and we'll crumble them all up, make sure that there's none sticking together, so they're all individually. And they're basically ready to be packaged into these little envelopes you can get online for nearly next to nothing. And bag them up, make sure you label them again, ready for next season. Just keep them in a cool, dark place.